of truth throughout the globe. And so it is in our weakness that we depend on Jesus. Who is Jesus? Well, if you've been watching this blog for any length of time, you would know that Jesus is grace and truth. And we depend on Jesus, we depend on grace and truth during our weaknesses. We depend on grace and truth during our weaknesses. And that power that is within us, because he's living within us, then begins to work. That power that is within us is now made fully complete. Now gives us the ability to do because Jesus is in us. And because we have the ability to do, and that is now made complete, it puts on the best display, the best action that's ever possible. For it is when we depend on Jesus in our hardship, it's when we depend on Jesus in our troubles, it's when we depend on Jesus in our sicknesses that his power is displayed through us and allows us to overcome. So yes, I boast in my... I feel like I just sound like Daniel Bryan. Yes. I boast in my weakness because I am weak. Wow, anyone who doesn't know, sorry. Anyways, what was that? Anyone who depends on the one who is living inside of us. Anyone who depends on grace and truth. Anyone who depends on Jesus will be able to overcome your weakness. Because God will give you the ability to do in that moment if you first depend on him and not in your self-effort, not in your flesh. So who is Jesus? He is our Lord. And he has ownership of us. And so we go to our owner. And that's when we are weak, he is now strong. He now shows how strong he is within our weaknesses. And so I feel compelled to say that don't ignore your weaknesses. And although the Lord already knows your weaknesses, don't ignore sharing them with the Lord. Don't ignore sharing them with your owner, with the one who owns you, because you don't belong to yourself. Acknowledging that Jesus is sufficient, acknowledging that grace is sufficient, acknowledging that his truth is sufficient. You can't just say this. You just can't say, oh, his grace is sufficient for me, and in his power is now made complete, his power is now perfected, his power is now manifested and glorified because I am weak. No, you have to believe this in your heart. You don't believe anything in your heart, there is no reproduction of no real action. There is no reproduction of no real fruit. And so, when you are weak, that's when he is strong. When you are weak, that's when his ability to do is now made complete within you. All you have to do is depend on the one way first. Depend on Jesus. Depend on grace. Depend on truth. Depend on our owner first. Not second, not third, not fourth, not last place. Let him be the first thing that you depend on. So this is Lewis at InHimID.com. Say grace to all my perfect